guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Monster High Lagoona Blue and her hydration station. Okay, alright, now hang on just a second. I already know what you guys are thinking. What the heck is this guy doing? Monster High? Really? That's what he's reviewing today? I know. I'm an action figure guy. This sort of thing is not really my sort of thing. I don't usually buy dolls. I don't usually buy these kind of things. I'm an action figure guy. But let me tell you, there's something about the Monster High license, the whole Monster High brand, that has definitely kind of caught my attention. And it's not just me, because these things are super hot right now. And it's not just with kids. Collectors are picking these things up as well. And it's not just girls, it's guys too. And honestly, it's because of the design that goes into these things. I mean, there's just something really neat about the idea that all of these characters are the sons and daughters of famous monsters. With Lagoona Blue here actually being the daughter of the, the Swamp Thing type, the creature from the Blue Lagoon. I mean, I just think that's a really cool concept, you know, and these dolls are just so popular right now, and, you know, parents are having a hard time getting these for their kids, collectors are having a hard time tracking down the new ones as they come out. Heck, I even had a hard time tracking down the hydration station. As soon as I saw my good friend Sween Halleck do his review, I knew it was something that I kind of wanted to pick up, and it took me months to find one of these things on store shelves. So they're very popular right now, and I just could not resist grabbing at least one to take a look at for myself. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to muscle my way through this review. We're going to see how I do talking about this doll that's made for little kids. But then what I really want to talk about is the hydration station, because that is obviously the coolest part about this entire set. And for everybody out there that's still a little skeptical, just hang in there. Seriously, let me show you how cool this thing is and what you can do with it. But first, let's go ahead and start by reviewing the actual doll and her accessories that come with the set before we move on to the main event. Alright, so this here is Lagoona Blue. It's a really kind of a cool little doll. Like I said, I'm not really much of a doll collector. That's more sort of the thing that my wife does. In fact, this is not working. Hey, Christina? Christina, you wanna come talk about this doll, maybe? So that
Sure.
Yeah? Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife, Christina, is here to help review Lagoona Blue. So this is our first Monster High doll. We've never bought a Monster High doll before,
No.
but we've both kind of had a little bit of an interest in them. We look at them every time we go into the store. This is the first one we've picked up. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think about Lagoona Blue?
Let's see. Her fins are really cool. She's got fins on her arms. A nice part to her dad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really cool because she's got like the fins on her arms. She's got webbed fingers.
Yes. She's got webbed fingers. She's also got fins
on her like shins.
And they fall off apparently.
Oh, well look at that. Oh, they're just held in by pegs. Okay.
Yeah, they're just held in
Plug
by
that
pegs.
right back into her leg there.
And then the pajamas are actually cut to where they actually go around the fins, so they're not actually on the pajamas, which is really nice.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it is like she's wearing pajamas. That is one thing we definitely want to point out here, because this is actually part of what they call the Dead Tired series, where they made a bunch of the Monster High girls wearing pajamas. And, of course, the hydration station here is actually Lagoona's bed. So that's the whole point of this and why she's wearing the pajamas.
Her pajamas are even water. Like, they're just like ocean waves.
Oh, yeah, they got like a wave design going on.
With little flowers floating in with little waves on her eye thing.
The sleep mask? Yeah, she's got a cool little sleep mask. You can put that down over her eyes.
So it actually says that she's sleeping, and instead she's sleeping with her eyes open.
Right.
She's got... The hair is really cool because she's got streaks of blue going through it, so it's just not normal blonde. It's got something to it, which is really pretty.
I actually love her little...
they're blowfish.
Yeah, she's got little blowfish slippers. Those are actually super cool. I have to admit, those are really neat.
She's got webbed fingers, but she has normal toes, which is really kind of strange.
Oh yeah, she kind of should probably have some webbed toes, shouldn't she?
But I guess she's wearing these shoes they wouldn't matter.
Right.
You won't see them anyway. Oh, that falls off really easy.
The fins? Oh,
Yeah.
something to be careful of.
Yeah.
The fins fall off easy.
The shoes are cool because they're actually really tough. So the shoes don't actually fall off
They're
that easily. So if like your
tight
kid is playing with them, they won't lose the shoes as easily.
That's good.
Because they're actually pretty tight on there.
Now, you know, one thing I've noticed about these dolls, too, is the amount of articulation that's on them. Because a lot of the dolls that, like, you collect aren't articulated like this.
No, they don't have elbows normally. Or wrists, actually.
Yeah, she's got a lot going on. Let's take a look. Let me see here. So we've got the head's on a nice little ball joint.
Which is really loose, in my opinion. It's
Loose, in your opinion?
Yeah.
It seems like it stays in place pretty good, though. And then she's kind of got the ball-jointed shoulders going on there, full 360-degree turns.
Well, they're probably actually really loose before, so kids can play with them, and then they don't have to, like, turn them
well, it's not
hard.
I guess it kind of does bobble a little bit.
Her arms are really loose, too, but they stay in place, so it's just play for kids to be easier to play with.
Yeah, it's got cuts right above the elbows, plus the elbow bends. It's actually got... she's really posable because the wrists spin around and then they bend forward and backward. She bends, it looks like
she can do sit-ups.
Yes. She's got articulation in the thighs, she's got articulation in the knees, and then it stops right there. So no more articulation below the knees. But for this being like a doll, like a dress-up doll for a little girl, she's got quite a bit of articulation on her.
Does.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you think overall of this being our first Monster High doll?
She's really cool.
Yeah?
She's even got makeup on for bed.
She's got makeup on for bed.
She's got makeup on. It's all blue.
It's her beauty sleep, you know. She's got to look really pretty. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in to help me with the doll review. I definitely could not have done it without you.
No
this
problem.
This is definitely your area of expertise. So everybody say, thank you, Christina. Sweet. So there's Lagoona Blue herself. Now, she does come with a whole slew of accessories, which is really cool. She's got a lot of things going on here. So among the different things that come with her while she's ready for bed here, she's got her Monster High diary and a tiny little pen. Now, from what I understand, this is kind of the norm for Monster High dolls. I think they all come with these little diaries. It's cool because it does open up, but it just has the little skull insignia for Monster High on the inside. The pen is really tiny and blue. Because her hands are open with the web fingers, she can't actually hold on to them, but you can find ways to position her. So she's kind of like holding it up a little bit there. She's got a little seashell-shaped compact, which opens up, and you can put that in her hand there. She's got a bottle of water, which is kind of funny. Why she would need a bottle of water while she's in her water bed, I'm not really sure, but maybe that's the whole point. It's a joke. She's got a bottle of moisturizer, is what the box says. It's a bottle of lotion, I guess. And then, of course, she's Monster High doll, so she's got her little skull brush so that, you know, girls can brush their hair. What? I'm just showing you how it works. One of the other things that she comes with is her little buddy Neptuna. It's a cool little fish, and of course little buddies are always cool to come with. You know, Christina actually loves it anytime her dolls have little buddies and little sidekicks, so it's kind of neat that she's got this little fish. He's got little teeth coming out of his mouth, so he's really neat looking. And then one of the other things that I'm actually really happy about is that the doll actually does come with a stand. That is really nice. The stand's really cool too because it actually just looks like bubbles going right up the back, and it's got a nice little base with the Monster High logo on it, and it clips right to the doll in order to keep her standing. Because she definitely would not be able to stand without a figure stand to help her up. Just the way that her feet are positioned for high heels or whatever. She doesn't stand very well. So there you go. There is all of the accessories that comes with Lagoona. Now let's move on to the hydration station itself. This is the thing that made me actually want to buy this set, because this right here is just a really cool toy. So this is, like I said, supposed to actually be Lagoona's bed. This is where she sleeps. Now the cool thing about this is it actually can be filled with water, and it's got some really cool effects, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. First of all, though, let me show you how this all works with Lagoona. You can open it up on the back, and first of all, you can see that there are 3 little shelves on the back wall there. This is a place where you can actually store all of her little accessories. So you can put little Neptuna up there, you can put her bottle of water and everything up here, you can store her compact, her diary, everything fits right there on those back shelves, which is nice because it gives you somewhere to store all of those accessories. Now, to put Lagoona inside, this is really neat. The doll stand actually detaches from the base, and you take that bubbly part right there, and there's a spot on the inside where it just clips in. So the doll stand still works on the inside, and this is what holds Lagoona up while she's inside the hydration station. I think that's a really cool way to do that. It's really nice that it keeps her up. Alright, so like I said, this can actually be filled with water. And kind of the way that this works, it is a little bit of a magic trick. You can see that she herself, is not actually submerged in water. You don't actually have to get the doll wet. There's a double-paned piece of plastic that wraps around the front, which is actually the spot that's filled with water. Everything else inside here is not actually filled with water. So she just clips in there, and then she's just behind the plastic that actually does have the water in it. Now, in order to fill this up, all you have to do is you can remove the top right here, and there is a small hole on the top, and then there is this blue funnel that came with the hydration station. So all you have to do is you pop the funnel on the top, and you turn on your faucet, your tap water, and you just fill it up. And you can just see how it kind of fills up that front little pane of plastic on the front. Like I said, just to reiterate, the doll itself is not getting wet. She's behind the double pane plastic that's filling up with water. So once we have her all positioned, we've got the water back in there, we can put this lid back on there, and this, my friends, is where the magic happens. Because once we've got her inside the hydration station itself, there's a small little seashell on the front. This little button, when you press it, it's going to start a cool water and light show that happens. Now, there are 3 different things that happen with this. The first feature, when you press the button, we get it so that the bubbles start forming up. You get this cool little bubble effect going on. There's blue and green lights that flash in there. And what they do is they just kind of flash. They pulsate a little bit. It's a really cool look. Now, the second feature, if you push the button again to turn it off and then push it to turn it back on, what you end up getting is a feature where the lights kind of slowly pulsate and the bubbles start and stop. And then the third and final function, if you push that shell a third time, it just gives you a steady light and bubble show. So the lights just stay on and the bubbles keep flowing. Now this is really cool looking. This is the thing that really made me want to get this, because it is just so cool looking. You've got those bubbles that are flowing around in there. You've got those really bright blue and green lights. If you put this thing in the dark and you've just got this thing glowing brightly blue and green with those bubbles going, it's absolutely mesmerizing. It is just so much fun to stare at, and it just looks really, really cool. It's got a great effect. It looks like the doll is actually sleeping inside this tank full of water with all the bubbles flowing around her. And it's a really cool looking display piece. It works great as a toy, but it also works great as a display piece for collectors. Now, remember at the beginning when I said, just stick with me, guys, because I'm going to show you how cool this is. When I saw that, and I saw how neat that worked as a display, I started getting all these crazy ideas running through my head. All these different things I could use it for. So, if you don't want to put a Monster High doll inside there, maybe you just think that this is a cool looking toy like I did. Maybe you think the bubbles and the lights look really neat. There are other options that you might be able to use this for. Check it out. Maybe you put your Masters of the Universe Classics Merman inside there, so he's submerged in water. Or sticking along the same lines as Masters of the Universe, maybe if you've got your old Princess of Power Mermista doll, you can stick her in there. She even fits on the doll stand. And hey, you know there's probably going to be a Masters of the Universe Classics Mermista coming out soon. It would probably work as a great display piece for her too. Or here's a fun one. How about DC Universe Classics Aquaman? Make it look like he's swimming through some water. And then finally, here's the one thing that crossed my mind immediately. Luke Skywalker in a Bacta tank, right? This thing looks like a Bacta-tank. Now, I've got the Sideshow Luke Skywalker in there, and he is almost too tall for this. Maybe one of the Hasbro dolls will be a little smaller. And, of course, I did not undress my Luke Skywalker, but I wanted to put that in there so you got the idea. A Bacta-tank from Star Wars. Seriously, that is the first thing I thought of when I saw how cool this was, and it could totally work. I could easily see how these could be modified and used for other things like Star Wars displays or Masters displays or all kinds of other cool figure displays, because this is a really neat accessory. So there you go, guys. There is my very first Monster High review. It's actually a really cool line of dolls that I must admit, if I had a daughter about the age group for this, I guarantee I'd be running around from store to store to find all these dolls for her, because I do think it's a really neat line. And I totally understand why girls like it. I totally understand why collectors are in it. And hey, they have cool accessories like the hydration station. So good luck in your searches, guys. Like I said, they're not the easiest things to find, but if you can get one, I think you'd really like it. Until next time.